So here we are playing Jungle Book on 4 different consoles. We have the Sega Genesis, the NES, the Super Nintendo, and the Sega Master System. And after playing all 4 versions of Jungle Book on all 4 consoles, I would have to say that the best version out of all 4 that I have played right here, it would be the Sega Genesis version. Visually, it is very, very impressive. In my opinion, the Genesis version does have the best graphics, and it has the most solid gameplay out of all. The next version that I would rank to be the best after the Genesis version may surprise you, but I would pick the NES, the 8-bit NES console. And that game released around the same time as the Genesis version, and for NES standards, the controls were actually very well. There was no clunkiness to it, and it played quite appropriate for an 8-bit console. Now, the SNES version of the game did look visually great. It actually looks really nice on the graphics. Not quite as good as the Genesis, but the problem is with the Super Nintendo version is that it felt clunky, and it does appear to be a little bit more confusing than the Sega Genesis version, as far as the way the platforms laid out. The Sega Master System version visually looks great for a 8-bit console. The problem is, it's very, very clunky on the controls. It's very difficult to play, similar to the Super Nintendo version. The Super Nintendo version, the Sega Master System version, you want to bypass and play the Genesis version instead. If not, try the NES version. It does not visually look nice at all. It kind of looks ugly, but I must give it credit. The controls are actually quite well on it. Now, I own the Sega Genesis version of this game, and I've played the Super Nintendo version before. I was never good at this game. Just give you guys a heads up. So this is just a little demonstration. This game I always found to be very, very difficult. Just like most Disney games from that era, they always seem to be a little bit difficult. But this is actually a really cool comparison. And don't forget to give a thumbs up.